I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. Whew. That was a whole ass thing. Oh, punch that dumb thing. All right.
Hey guys, hope you're having a great day as well as a great life.
As well as a great life. I said light because I was looking at Gordon Lightfoot, and so I was reading light. Hope you're having a great light. You know,
A great light out here.
Learn to talk, Alex.
It can be hard sometimes out here.
I grew up in I grew up in Brandon, but let's say I grew up in Plant City.
Yeah, it's like language probably isn't like the most like heightened thing out here.
They don't like language or arts, so the language arts to them is like a sin.
That's a sin out here.
Yeah. This is God's country. You only need to read the Bible.
So coming back to Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah.
We liked the first song. What was it? Sundown, about like a bad woman or something along those lines.
It's really good.
Coming back, I think the comment had like 1.3 thousand likes to do the song, the wreck of like Fitzgerald. Is that what it's called?
Edmund Fitzgerald.
So apparently we did a little bit of light reading, and this was a big ass ship that sank in Lake Superior, and the entire crew died. So I'm guessing it's like
of like 27 or 29 men.
Yeah, I think it's like probably like a super sad homage. So I think it's about to get heavy in the Freedom Shack.
Yeah, well, we've got whiskey for that.
Yeah,
so that'll help. But with that being said, let's just do it. Cool guitar work.
Love that.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. That good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned, concluding some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. Then later that night when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling? The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and the wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing. The dawn came late and the breakfast had to wait when the gales of November came slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind. When supper time came, the old cook came on deck saying, "Fellas, it's too rough to feed you."
Cool. Yeah.
At 7 p.m. a main hatchway caved in. He said, "Fellas, it's been good to know ya." The captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the good ship and crew was in peril. And later that night when his lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does
Great
anyone
snare tone.
know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? The searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they'd put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. Lake Huron rolls, Superior sings in the rooms of her ice-water mansion. Old Michigan steams like a young man's dreams. The islands and bays are for sportsmen. And farther below, Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her. The iron boats go, as the mariners all know, with the gales of November remembered. In a musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed in the Maritime Sailors' Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early.
Catching that fade.
That was really cool.
How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I thought it was like slightly repetitive. That was my only gripe with it. But again, that's like reminiscent of folk songs, and this is like a rocky version of a folk song.
Yeah.
So I thought some of the words he chose were really, really cool. The idea that Superior never gives up her dead when like the winds come early, I thought was a really cool line. And the church bell line where he goes like, the church bell rang 29 times for each man that was lost on the ship.
Yeah. Overall, it felt like straight poetry. Like, it's not my preferred style of like singing in terms of like what I like to like listen to. Yeah. But it definitely like got me in the fucking zone of like feeling like just that vibe.
It also
do you know what I mean?
Felt very seafaring. Like it felt like this is something you should listen. Like if I was on the,
it feels like upbeat almost.
Like the deck of a ship, and there's like you feel like the rock, like whew, like you're hitting some waves. Like you know the hull's like rising and dipping as you hit the waves, and you got some wind in your hair and some salt in your face, and you're smelling the ocean or Lake Superior, and like I think he evoked what it might have felt to be on the ship while it was all good, like where there's still calm waters.
Yeah, I can see that. Because the way he's singing, he's not singing in a sad way. No. Like, really at all.
It's like just reminiscent.
Yeah, you can get like that bittersweet feeling, but you only feel that because you know the context. But if you didn't speak English, you wouldn't know that it's like probably sad, at least by how he's singing.
It almost makes me feel exactly how they might have felt like literally while the waters were calm.
Yeah.
Like you're just sitting on that boat and you're like, it's kind of monotonous, just like being on a long voyage might be.
Yeah,
and so it's just like
it was definitely like purposeful. That's what he wanted. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? To like really get it across. And I thought like there might have been some dynamic shifts like once shit got crazy, but it almost is like more impactful when he's singing it the same way. Because like in the beginning of the song, everything's all good. He's singing like, but then like fine and normal. But then like later, it's like water's coming in, but he's like singing the exact same way to where if you're not paying attention and you just hear that, you're like, oh shit, like what's going on?
It almost feels like one of those like traveling bard's tales, you know, like somewhere in like the medieval times you have some guy with like a little like lute and he's just like singing the tales of some brave adventurer, but it's like this one doesn't end so well.
Yeah, instrumentally, I freaking loved how, like from the gate, like you had that really crazy, like just cool, like accent like electric guitar in the right mix.
Yeah,
it like just like felt so nice, and there's like the keyboard synth type stuff in the left, like at that one random point in time. Like I think they like accented it like really good.
The production was great.
It was like phenomenal sonically.
It moved very, very little. Subtle changes, but they were so impactful. Like they were very purposeful for what they did, like the digging into the electric guitar at like very certain points, or where it would pull everything back, so you heard like the snare's going the entire time, but all of a sudden now you hear the snare just a little bit more because there's nothing else covering it up, and so you hear the snare and then the echo of the snare, and then he comes in and everything slowly builds into, or like the lap steel guitar where it's like the little, I don't know. I thought it was, like you said, very, very well put together. What are you thinking rating wise?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like for a lot of people and for what it's doing, like honoring that event, I'm sure it's like S tier in that regard. But like for me, in terms of like how like my personal taste, probably like around like A.
Kind of feel like a B, honestly.
Yeah.
Not like a shot at the song. I like storytelling songs. This just wasn't my favorite storytelling song. So if I'm gonna like listen, if I'm gonna go to a song for storytelling, I think it was done really well. But it's just not my preferred taste.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, it's probably like S tier for them, probably. At least like from what I got from like reading like comments about it.
How recent was the thing?
When we did Gordon Lightfoot?
No, how recent was the accident?
It was in 75.
1975?
Yeah. I mean,
wow, that's very recent.
It's like context. It's like the song came out like I'm sure like some recency of like the event. So I'm sure for like a lot of people.
Oh,
it was, like,
damn, dude. Why did I think this was like from like the 1800s?
No, dude.
Wow, I thought it was like legit very, very recent.
No, it's like it happened.
Or not recent.
Like it happened, then he like wrote the song about it, and then the song kind of just like immortalized it, I guess.
Wow,
so
that's
why I feel like in terms of like that context, like I'm sure a lot of people like give it like I would give it like S tier quality for like what it's doing for that event, but it's like mainly because of its like cultural purposes, not because I actually like really vibe with it myself in terms of like the styling of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I literally
like cultural significance, like it's like on a pedestal there, you know.
I didn't know that. I thought it was, for whatever reason, I guess I think all boat crashes happened a long time ago. That's just my dumb bias. Dang.
So I mean that's like our take on it, I guess, you know. I mean, like, well, let us know like what you guys think. I think for a lot of people, it's like a super like immortalized like tune.
Yeah, if you lived through it, or if you lived through it, I bet this was like a massive thing where this defined the event sonically.
Probably like similar. Obviously, like, there's no like straight cruelty involved from like Man to Man, but probably similar to like Ohio from like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Like that song represented like everyone kind of coming together for like this crazy event that happened. So it's probably similar to that for a lot of people, like looking back especially.
It does make it, it's dumb, but recency does make it feel more impactful. Like the Ohio thing, like imagine if that happened in the 1700s, like at least for me, I wouldn't have cared as much. For whatever reason, like, okay, it's been like 200, 300 years, it's like, no, okay, like that's sad, but it might not be as impactful. But for the fact that there's like photographs of like everyone commented in the Ohio video of like there's like this girl like crying or like pointing at like screaming at this.
I searched it up. It was intense.
Very intense.
Yeah.
So it's like the recency of it does make it feel way more staggering in retrospect,
because it makes it feel like more real to you. Because it's so easy. It's like, oh, 1,000 years ago this cruel shit happened. You're like, 1,000 years ago, you know.
1,000 years ago, stuff happened.
But it's everyone's right in front of your face. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like things can get real. But
damn.
Yeah. So like, what do you guys think about this song? And like, what next should we check out from Gordon Lightfoot?
Yeah. Let us know. With that being said, we'll see you on Friday.
Cheers.